In from Amethi, there you see Rahul Gandhi. He's sitting with quite a few of his supporters. We believe this is a tea stall where he's interacting with his supporters in Amethi. Remember, this is the first time that the Gandhi sign is in Amethi on polling day. Well, the BJP as of now is crying foul. They're claiming that there will be poll rigging that will be encouraged by Rahul Gandhi since he is there on voting day in phase 8. There you see visuals of Rahul Gandhi interacting with his supporters. We believe there is even a sound bite of Rahul Gandhi speaking with them. Let's try and get to that. But for now, this is the latest that we are getting from Amethi, where Rahul Gandhi is speaking with his supporters. Remember, Rahul Gandhi, the last time won by a staggering 3.7 lakh votes. And ever since 2004, he's been elected to parliament from his seat in Amethi. This time, he has a three-way contest with Smriti Irani as well as Kumar Vishwas. Let's just listen into what Rahul Gandhi is saying.
देखिए भैया, मेरा फोकस लोकतंत्र को मजबूत करने का है। ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को वोट देना चाहिए, महिलाओं को, युवाओं को। ये मेरा लक्ष्य है। अब वो जो कहते हैं, लेकिन जो नीच जाति के हैं इसलिए उनको टारगेट कर रही है गांधी फैमिली, इस पे आपका क्या कहना है? नीच कर्म होते हैं, नीच जाति नहीं होती, नीच कर्म होते हैं। आपको लगता है कि नीच सोच होती है? नहीं, नीच सोच होती है, गुस्से की सोच होती है, क्रोध की सोच होती है, नीच जात नहीं होती है। धन्यवाद।
Well, Rahul Gandhi there breaking his silence on Narendra Modi's remark yesterday that sparked a row. Before that, you heard a very angry Priyanka Gandhi as well. But it's time now to cut across to Preeti Chaudhary, who joins us live from Amethi.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Vedika. Well, we come to you directly from Amethi in one of the key polling booths in Ramnagar. Now, this is where the Raja, the erstwhile king of Amethi, Sanjay Singh, cast his ballot. We just spoke to him a short while back, extremely confident that Rahul Gandhi will come back with a thumping majority like he did in the year 2009. But the very fact that Rahul Gandhi, for the first time since 2004, is here on polling day, goes on to give testimony that the Congress is rattled. And why not so? Because for 28 years, Amethi has been a Gandhi bastion. Sanjay Gandhi won this constituency in the 80s. Rajiv Gandhi won it 4 times over. Then, of course, Sonia Gandhi. And since 2004, it has been Rahul Gandhi. He won it with over 3.5 lakh votes in 2009. There was about 40% voting. Voting right now brisk and definitely will cross the 50% mark is what we are being told. But let me just cut across, talk to a few people. An old woman here who's come to cast her ballot. Amma, mat diya? मतदान किए हो?
मतदान नहीं किया।
वोट दिया?
हाँ,
वोट दिया। कब से दे रही हैं? कब से अम्मा वोट दे रही हैं?
ये तो शुरू से दे रहे हैं लगभग।
हाँ,
95 साल से।
95 साल हो गए इनको वोट देते हुए।
There you have it. Everybody is coming out in huge numbers to come and cast their ballot right here in Amethi. When we are talking about the Gandhis, well, there is a set which is still dyed in wool when it comes to allegiance to the Gandhi family. But there is a new, people here completely disillusioned with the development, absolutely no development in Amethi. There are no roads, there is no electricity, there is no water. Many people feel that Rahul Gandhi has been looking at macro level issues and has not nurtured his constituency. And it can be seen because we have travelled extensively in Amethi to all 5 the state assembly seats right here, and most of them extremely disillusioned as there has been absolutely zero development. And now they've been given options to choose. Till now there's never been a direct fight that the Gandhis have faced in Amethi, and now you have Smriti Irani from the BJP, you have Kumar Vishwas who's been camping here since January from the Aam Aadmi Party. My colleague Aditi Anant Narayanan caught up with Smriti Irani today morning, optimistic and buoyed by the fact that Narendra Modi 3 days back came and put his weight behind her. Well, in the 8th phase, Amethi has come to be one of the flashpoints there. Basically because of the contestants that are here. We have Smriti Irani, we have Kumar Vishwas, we have Rahul Gandhi. Aditi Anant Narayanan, my colleague who just interviewed Smriti Irani today morning, joins us live. She's been tracking the BJP very closely here in Amethi. Aditi, till Smriti's name was announced very late. Till then, it was a direct contest between Kumar Vishwas from the Aam Aadmi Party, and he's been here. He's been here since January, talking to people, touring villages, and Rahul Gandhi. But the narrative in Amethi, hasn't it changed, especially in the last 4 days, with Narendra Modi coming out, supporting Smriti Irani, calling him his younger sister, and saying that if they elect Smriti, he will change the face of Amethi in the next 7 months.
Absolutely, as you rightly said, Preeti, the BJP at this point of time has strategized the entire planning as far as the Amethi constituency is concerned. Over the past 10 days, within the BJP, there was only one focus that they wanted to concentrate only on this particular Amethi constituency. They wanted to give as much support as possible to their candidate, Smriti Irani. In fact, that is the prime reason why just 3 days before the polling, the BJP's prime ministerial candidate, Narendra Modi himself came down. He shared the dais with Smriti Irani. In fact, campaigning for her, and this is something very different. We do not see Narendra Modi coming down and campaigning so often. So this was a big thing that the BJP had planned for the Amethi constituency, and this is something which has changed the perception even of the voters in this particular constituency, Preeti, because seeing such a big face that of Narendra Modi has impacted the voters pretty much at this point of time, and this is exactly what the Bharatiya Janata Party was aiming at. They wanted Smriti Irani to come to the forefront for the past 3 weeks, and just before polling, they had planned that Narendra Modi will come campaign for Smriti Irani to give a tough fight even in the last few days to Rahul Gandhi. And clearly it is a tough fight because every day we do not see, in the past few elections, we have never seen Rahul Gandhi coming to his own constituency on the day of polling. So this is something very different, and this is something which was in the mind of BJP, and clearly they have achieved what they wanted to achieve, at least giving a tough fight to Rahul Gandhi in this constituency, Preeti.
Well, you're right. The other thing, the question I also ask you, something that the Congress is deeply missing at this point of time, especially on the ground in Amethi, is a strong cadre. The RSS has been working relentlessly for Smriti Irani. That has bolstered the BJP, at least getting large numbers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, the RSS had been doing its groundwork, its homework in Amethi way before the name of Smriti Irani was announced, Preeti. That is what we learned from the BJP insiders. They had their eyes set on Amethi. They knew that Amethi is going to be a very crucial constituency for them for the 2014 Lok Sabha polls. And that is why the RSS cadre had begun their groundwork a month back, 2 months before, in fact, Smriti Irani's name was announced. And after that, the BJP workers have been working on a full swing in this particular constituency. And that is what is probably going to help the Bharatiya Janata Party, because for the Congress, they just have the Congress workers. For the BJP, they have the BJP workers on ground. And more on that, they also have the RSS cadre, which has been working here day in and day out. And this is something which the BJP is hoping that will work for them, that the entire RSS and the BJP unit have come together to ensure that Smriti Irani at least wins from this particular constituency. It is not only a matter of winning or losing, Preeti, it is also a matter of ego at this point of time as far as the BJP is concerned, because defeating Rahul Gandhi will be a big brownie point for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Preeti.
Well, and ultimately it'll come down to the margin as well. Over 3.5 lakhs vote is what Rahul Gandhi had won from last time in 2009. And everybody is saying it'll all come down to the margin at this point of time. I'd like to cut across. In our studio in Delhi, we have Shiv Vishwanathan, social scientist. Shiv, the question I ask you is, ultimately it'll come down to the numbers, will it not? Because 3.5 lakh votes that Rahul Gandhi won from last time, he's fighting, guarding his turf, but looks highly unlikely, keeping in mind the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party here.
See, I think we've got to have some sense of the past. You can't have a constituency for over 20 years and pretend nothing has been done. The past has to contribute to Rahul Gandhi in terms of achievement, in terms of what he has done. I think to a certain extent, I'm surprised people are acting as if he has done nothing. That doesn't make sense to me. Yes. If I was a Congress worker, I would give a different reply. In fact, I wish I was there, because I think a lot of Modi's and Smriti Irani's statements can be answered quite easily and convincingly. I see a failure of politics here, and that worries me.
Right. Let's cut across to Javed Ansari, our National Affairs editor, sitting beside Shiv Vishwanathan in our studio. Javed, you were here in Amethi. Things are different this time, isn't it? The very fact that Rahul Gandhi is here on polling day, the very fact that people that we've been speaking to are saying that Rahul was too bothered about macro level issues like the food security bill. He's never quite nurtured his constituency. He is facing this, isn't he, especially on the ground?
I mean, there are people who are complaining, but if you compare Amethi with the rest of UP, then you'll know for yourself the kind of Amethi appears to be like an Amethi, and Raebareli appear to be like an oasis, otherwise in the dark, the large swaths of wilderness in Uttar Pradesh. I come from a place called Ghazipur, which is just about 200 kilometers from Amethi. For 18 hours we don't get electricity. So, to say that Amethi has not been developed, that no development has taken place, is not entirely true. Yes, of course it ought to have been developed a lot more. They ought to have been, free and uninterrupted supply of electricity. But that is true of the entire Uttar Pradesh. And it's not entirely correct to say that they don't have a cadre in, if Amethi and Raebareli are the only two places in Uttar Pradesh which the Congress has cadres, workers in every block, to the block level. I wish they could have replicated this model in the rest of the country.